Hey everybody, it's J-Rath here. I've never done that before. That was gross. Um, we did it. We hit 1,000 subscribers. That's like insane. I'm gonna save the sappiness and the updates and the cool stuff for later in the video. I'm not gonna take too much time away from this because today we are doing my top 15 anime slash manga because I didn't really think I could do a manga list because I haven't read a lot and anime would just be too hard, so I fused the two. And I think we got a solid list here. Again, I'm going to save the sappiness for later in the video, but don't want to take up too much of your time. So let's go ahead and get into the list. So today I have 15 anime and manga, or both, whatever, and in a list. And we're going to go from the bottom to the top, talk about it a little bit. No spoilers if you haven't seen any of them, so don't worry. Just going to kind of talk about why I like them so much, why they are in the top 15, and then probably talk about some honorable mentions as well and why they weren't in it or why some other random thing isn't in it. I don't know. We're just going to get into it. It's a good time. It's a good vibe. Let's go. Starting off at number 15 is Haikyuu. I adore this story. It is my second favorite sports anime. One of the only sports anime I actually genuinely really like. Of course, I'm talking about the anime. I have not read the manga, but the anime, it's just amazing. All around. I love the characters. I love the story, animation, everything. Just everything about it is amazing. Haikyuu single-handedly made me fall in love with volleyball. I had literally no interest in it beforehand. But after watching this, I did. I gained an interest. I kind of learned how to play, kind of. It's just all around an amazing, amazing show, amazing experience. I'm hoping to talk about it more in detail one day, but it's very, very solid here at number 15. If anything, it could be up to 14. This and the next entry are pretty interchangeable, but I thought it was pretty comfortable here at number 15. Again, I love Haikyuu. Just because it's at the bottom of the list does not mean it's not amazing. Like, all of these are just 10 out of 10 picks. So, all right, coming in at number 14 is going to be Clannad. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Clannad. I'm sure some of you have, and if you have, you're screaming at me right now. But I adore Clannad. Very few things, media in general, make me cry. But Clannad managed to do that 3 separate times in its story, all of them very, very aggressively. Clannad is just one of those shows that really, really hits home. The first half, just regular Clannad, is honestly not anything really out there. It's just kind of a normal school which girl will he pick kind of romance. But Clannad After Story really is something special. It takes the girl that he picks. I won't obviously spoil that, but it takes the girl he picks and you get their story together, and by God does it hurt you. It takes it and it runs. Literally nothing has ever made me cry like that, as much of a baby as that did. And yeah, it's just a fantastic story. It's very, very upsetting, and only watch it if you want to cry. At number 13 is going to be Chainsaw Man. Now, if you've read Chainsaw Man, you know why it's here. Everybody loves Chainsaw Man. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I adore the manga. It's one of my favorite manga ever. It's just fantastic. The fact that it is so short and accomplished so much really speaks in volumes. I read about 90 chapters in a single day. That's just how easy it is to read, how engaging and entrapping it is. As soon as you start, you just are not going to want to stop, and it's just fantastic. And I am so excited for the anime this coming fall. Now, our number 12 spot is something quite special to me. This is one of my first anime, which is surprising. Number 12 is going to be Monster. Now, the reason it's here is honestly mostly because of just the quality of the story. A lot of the things on this list are either here because, some great impact it had on me as a person, my experience with it, whatever. It was a great experience watching it, but it was nothing life-changing. The message and themes of the story were not really life-changing either. They were amazing, obviously, but the reason it's here is solely based off the quality of the story. I have not read the manga. I've only watched the anime, but I've been told that they're very equally as good. Monster is just a fantastic story, like through and through. Everything about it is just meticulously done, very, very well executed on all fronts. The animation's great, the characters are amazing. Dr. Tenma is just one of my favorites. I love him. And just overall, it's a great story. It's a great thriller. And if you've never heard of it, if you have any interest in thrillers, please go watch it. It's one of the best. Now, number 11 is going to be no surprise to anybody. It's going to be Tokyo Ghoul. If you watch my Tokyo Ghoul video, it is very good, and I love it. And I'm not going to talk about it too much because, you know, I have a whole 20-minute video on it. Shameless plug for myself, but go watch that if you want to see why I love it so much. And yeah, it's pretty comfortable at 11, but 11 and 10 are pretty interchangeable if I'm being honest. So number 10 is going to be Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, same thing. If you haven't seen my JJK video, please go watch that. I'm not really going to repeat myself again here, but I do think it deserves a spot in the top 10 just simply because how much I love it, but I also don't think it can go any higher due to the fact that it just isn't really done yet, and it's the kind of story that I think will definitely improve a lot once we get the whole scope of the story. Obviously, on a weekly basis, I love it. Even to this day, it's amazing. The fights are awesome. The anime was amazing. You know, I'm hoping the anime keeps that up, but the manga is just fantastic. I love it. I adore it. If you haven't seen my video, go watch that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, number 9 is going to be Gurren Lagann. Now, again, third time in a row, I did just make a video on Gurren Lagann as to why I love the themes of the story and all that. The anime I've rewatched the most, I think. I've rewatched it about 4 times, which is very unlike me. I usually only watch things once. But I just adore Gurren Lagann. It's fantastic, amazing. I honestly think it probably could be a little higher on a different day, probably up to like maybe 6 or 7. But right here, I'm going to kind of leave it here. I love it. It's amazing. Yeah, go watch my video if you haven't. All right, number 8 is going to be Hunter x Hunter. Yes, you pronounce the X in between the Hunters. I adore Hunter x Hunter a lot. I know a lot of people do. I have not read the manga. I've only watched the anime. But for me personally, I'm honestly really okay with where the anime ended. I knew about the hiatus thing and, you know, not that much content after where the anime ended. So I kind of just wanted to let it sit there. One day I might pick up the manga. Probably will, but that day is not now. I adore the anime. It's amazing. I'm on the side of the Chimera Ant arc being one of the best shonen arcs ever. It's just fantastic. But the main reason it is at number 8, so high up on this list, is because of a single character. And that character is going to be Killua. Killua, for a long time, and maybe even to this day, I considered to be my favorite fictional character of all time. I just love him. He's amazing. Everything about him I adore. His journey, his just character, his power, it's just everything about him is amazing. And I love him. And that is all. Thank you. Obviously, I love the story as a whole. That wouldn't be the only reason. But yeah, I love Killua. And number 7 is going to be Mob Psycho 100. Now, Mob is just amazing. It's so important to me and just everything it stands for. Mob himself, all the characters are just so amazing, and it's such a character-focused story, which I love. I love character-focused stories. That's really what it is. It's about Mob, you know, trying to learn to express himself, and in a really weird, wacky, psychic power way, but it works, and it's just amazing. The story and the message it gives is just fantastic, and I am so incredibly excited for Season 3 in fall also. So, hey, depending on Season 3, it might move up a little bit, but right now it is at number 7, and I just adore it so much. Number 6 is going to be Oyasumi Pun Pun. And again, I did make a video on Pun Pun. I love Pun Pun. It's amazing. If you want to go watch it, you should. I personally think it's my best video I've made, one of them at least. It's just fantastic. I love Pun Pun so much. Pun Pun is just one of those stories that like really messed with me. It really had a lasting impact on me, even months after I finished it. When I made that video, I had read it probably about 4 months beforehand, and it was still just as strong and speaking to me just as powerfully as it was when I first read it. And that alone, I think, gives it this spot at number 6. Number 5. Now, this is kind of like Monster at number 12, but obviously a lot better and a lot closer to my heart because it is at number 5. It's going to be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal, to me, is really kind of just a perfect anime. The story, it's the perfect size. It's not crazy long. It's not too short. The story is just absolutely fantastic from start to finish. There's a perfect amount of twists and turns and all this stuff, and animation is fantastic. The execution is amazing. Just, it's perfectly satisfying and a complete story. It's also was one of the first anime I ever watched besides like Dragon Ball. I adore Brotherhood so much. It's amazing. And if you haven't watched Full Metal, I don't know what kind of rock you're living under, but please go watch it. Just please. It's so amazing, and it holds up to this day as, you know, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, anime. Just out of pure quality perspective. It's just amazing. Now, at number 4 is going to be Hajime no Ippo. I love Ippo. Obviously, this is my favorite sports anime, as I hinted earlier, Haikyuu being my second. Ippo is about boxing. I just adore it so much. I enjoyed boxing beforehand. A little bit, I watched a little bit, but Ippo really like ignited that love even more for me. Boxing is just my favorite sport, without a doubt. And the way it conveys the sport while not having to be like Kuriko's Basket or something, where it's like super edgy, out there, wild, whatever. It's just very normal. It's obviously very anime, but it still holds its ground in reality. And that's probably my favorite thing about it, is how well it holds itself in reality, and it still keeps you that invested, especially considering it's like a battle shonen, basically. I love Ippo and his journey. I love all the fights. They're all so amazing, and like basically every single main fight gets you out of your chair screaming and like yelling at the TV. It's just so good. It's so amazing. If you haven't watched Ippo, please go watch it. At least give it a try. It's awesome. First couple episodes will get you hooked, I promise. Now, before we get into the top 3, let's talk about my honorable mentions. Alright, I'm just going to kind of list them. Not really going to talk about them. Maybe say why they aren't on the list or whatever, but yeah. Listen, if I haven't said your favorite so far, there's a good chance it's in the top 3 if you have good taste. Or it's in these honorable mentions. If it's not, I probably like it, or I just haven't seen it. Now, first, Attack on Titan. I really decided between Haikyuu and Attack on Titan. It's great, it's amazing, but it hasn't finished yet. And I feel like that's the kind of story it needs to be finished before I can really put it on there. Number 2, Baccano. If you've never heard of Baccano, I adore Baccano. It's very good. It's only 12 episodes. You should go watch it. It's amazing. Not really going to talk about it anymore. Next, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z. I love the original Dragon Ball a lot. That honestly probably would have been on here. I just feel like these other shows had a better place here. So I'm going to throw it in here right here. Dragon Ball is amazing. I love Dragon Ball, of course, but, you know, whatever. It's more of like a, wow, that's like the classic kind of thing. I don't really want to put it in the list, if that makes sense. Next, I'm going to just kind of rapid fire these 3. Kaguya-sama. Gas. I finished season 3, you know, right around the time I was writing this, and I really considered just kind of throwing it in there. It's really good. My Dress Up Darling goes crazy. It's not on here because, you know, I didn't want to do that to myself, but it's awesome. Next, Noragami. I love Noragami. Also not on here, same reason as Dress Up Darling. Wouldn't feel right if they're on here. Like, I love them, but they're not better than any of these 15. So, cool, there's that. Next, My Hero. I read the manga, mainly only. Manga's very good. Don't slight me. Listen, you hero heads out there. You hero heads, don't come at me, alright, because it's not in the top 15, alright? I love My Hero. I do. It's not on here because of you fuckers. Alright, now that those honorable mentions are out of the way, let's get to number 3, which is going to be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I love JoJo. I watched the anime for the first 5 parts 1 through 5, and read part 6. But honestly, with just those first 6 parts, it would probably be at about 6 or 7. Obviously, it's not. It's at number 3. And the sole reason for that being Steel Ball Run, Part 7. I adore Steel Ball Run so much. Like, so much. It is honestly a perfect manga, if I'm being totally honest. It's a perfect manga. It's just fantastic from start to finish. It's an amazing story. Johnny is one of my favorite protagonists ever. I just love everything about it, just so much. I don't even know how to put it into words. I'm gonna make a video on it someday, kind of try and get those words across, but right now, whenever I try to talk about Steel Ball Run, the only thing I end up being able to write down is just how awesome it is. It's just amazing. Honestly, it's just fantastic. And it is Araki's best work, no doubt. Now, I will say I have not read JoJolion. I'm going to get there. Probably once Part 9 starts, I'll read JoJolion. But, yeah, I love Steel Ball Run. Number 2 is going to be Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now, I love this show. It really did kind of make me rethink a lot of things. It really changed my life when I watched it all those years ago. It just is fantastic, everything about it. I adore the series, the rebuilds, and the manga. All of them. I just adore all of them. But the series is my favorite, of course, with especially the end of Evangelion being probably my favorite movie of all time. I'll probably make a movie list at some point. And the series really just, again, like I said earlier, it really put a lot of things into perspective. It really changed how I thought about a lot of things. And it's just such a powerful story. Honestly, it's so powerful. It's so meaningful to me as a person. And I know a lot of people, if Evangelion didn't hit you like that, it's not going to be in your top 3. But I think if Evangelion hit you right, there's no doubt it's not in your top 3, honestly. It's just so powerful, so personal to a lot of people that it's so solid here at number 2. I mean, hey, one day it might even be number 1, but I doubt that. And that is because my number 1 pick is just too good. Too good. So, number 1 pick is One Piece. If that wasn't really apparent, it's One Piece. Like I said, though, it is the manga. The anime is very good when it wants to be, but if we were going on an anime list, One Piece anime would be maybe 5, 4, 5, I don't know. But the manga is number 1. There's no contention. It is my favorite story ever. It just is. The pacing is a lot better than the anime. You know, there's a lot of reasons why I prefer the manga, but I don't really need to get into that. It is my favorite story that I've ever experienced or read or watched, and don't think that will ever change unless somehow, under the grace of God, the ending is like awful. But I also don't even think that's possible, because even if it is some awful, horrible ending, I'm still gonna love it. I'm still gonna love the journey, the fucking 25-year journey that it was. And yeah, I just don't think it's ever going to change. I will be making a lot of One Piece videos just throughout, so don't worry about that. You'll understand why. You'll understand why. And I know it gets a weird rap, but honestly, if you haven't tried One Piece for yourself, just do it. You don't have to read all of it. If you don't like it, you don't have to read it, but you know, give it a try. It's very worth it. It's very worth it. I love One Piece, man. I love it. It's on my avatar. I love One Piece. There we go. There's the list. Top 15 anime manga. I know. Very impressive. Very correct. Because, you know, I have the best opinions out of anybody. And that's just a fact. Like, I have better opinions than the rest of you. And you need to understand that. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this top 15 list. I will do more of these probably at milestones. It's probably the plan. Thank you guys just so much. When I started doing this, I remember hitting 1,000 was like the goal. Not like, you know, long-term goal, but like the goal. It was like, if I can hit 1,000, then maybe this will go somewhere. Maybe it won't just be a stupid little thing I do. Obviously, I do this just because, you know, I like doing it. I like talking to you guys. But yeah, I don't know. This is a very crazy thing. It's not huge. Like, it's not, you know, some people would say it's not like huge. But I know for me, it's a lot. Because trying to like interact with everybody community. Thinking about 1,000 people, like, that's insane. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. And I just really hope you all enjoy. I hope you all keep interacting. If you ever feel like adding something to the conversation, to a video, even if you disagree with me, I totally go for it. I just like hearing from you guys. I like talking. So, hey, don't be shy. And I'm hoping that all of your peers, all of the other people that watch will, be nice. Because I don't want anybody being mean in my comments. All right, don't do that. I'm hoping that we can keep going strong, keep growing as a unit, as a group. But I do have some prizes, some rewards, some things for hitting 1,000. Going off of that community thing, I made a YouTube Discord. It is totally free to join. You don't have to do anything. Just go ahead, join. Yeah, I'm hoping it can be like a fun place for all of us to talk. It's a fun place for me to kind of give you guys updates or like, whatever. So please feel free to join. Talk with everybody, talk with others, talk with me. Then the other thing, the final thing, is I'm making a Patreon. I'm not really expecting a lot, but anything from Patreon will go towards this, towards either more equipment, towards whatever. So if you want to check it out, you totally can. Different tiers. There's like Discord roles that you can get from the Patreon, or early access to videos. I'll put every patron's name at the end of videos, that kind of stuff. It's just if you got a couple bucks to spare, I will totally take it. I will appreciate it. So thank you. Just thank you for joining, for giving me your time of day. And I do promise I am going to try to pump videos out more. I know they've been very slow, but I'm going to try to pump them out more, keeping the same quality. That's the big thing. I don't want to drop quality for quantity, but I will try more than, once a month. So, yeah. Stay tuned. Follow my Twitter if you haven't. That's usually where I update on videos and stuff. And just thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you all. Check out the linky doodles in the description, all that stuff. Thank you. And as always, I'll see y'all next time.